Hello everyone, welcome to another new lesson in this series of writing. Today we are going to look at contrast, okay? Which means linking words or cohesive devices of contrast. We are going to look at but, while, on the one hand, on the other hand, on the contrary, whereas, okay? So let's look at how do we use these. We have so many, but again I choose just some of the most important ones that you can use when you write, okay? So let's start with but. Okay, the first one we are going to start with is but. Look at it. I like comedy films, but my brother doesn't. We have two ideas. For me, I like comedy films. My brother doesn't like comedy films. Sometimes we can do without this, even if we have contrasting ideas, but in order to show that the ideas are contrasting and not to confuse the reader or the listener, it's better to use but. For this first sentence, it is a compound sentence, okay? It's a compound sentence because we have one clause here, complete clause, and we have another complete clause. I like comedy films, my brother doesn't like comedy films. This is how the sentences sound if we don't use but. But here, because we say I like comedy films, my brother doesn't what? Doesn't like them. But we will not repeat it so as to avoid repetition. So we just say my brother doesn't, okay? Now look at while. While has other meanings. We can use it to mean during, when we refer to time, etc. But that's not what we mean here. We mean on the contrary or but, etc. We mean something that is contrast. So let's look at this. While James is good at math, his sister is absolutely not. So James is good at math, but his sister is not. We can use but if we have, let's say, an essay or a paragraph, we don't want to repeat the same linking word. While we can put it at the beginning, and I can put it at the middle. For example, James is good at math, full stop, while his sister is absolutely not. But it's better this way. While James is good at math, his sister is absolutely not. The focus here is on the first sentence, while James is good at math. And I want to show that his sister is not. Here we have on the one hand and on the other hand. This is one sentence, by the way. Okay? Even if we have a full stop there, but we convey the different ideas, contrasting ideas. So we can say, on the one hand, comma, the internet is dangerous for our health. Some people think it's dangerous for our health. The Wi-Fi and so on. So, on the one hand, the internet is dangerous for our health. On the other hand, we can't live without it. Can't we? Or can we? We can't live without it. Can we? Which means, no, we can't. Especially during this time. Okay? So we use on the one hand, you give your first idea. On the other hand, you give your second contrasting idea. Then we move to on the contrary. So, her bad mark didn't discourage her. This, let's say, linking word or phrase, on the contrary, we use it when we want to emphasize something that is contrasting our first idea. So we have, she had a bad mark. We think that because she had a bad mark, she is going to be discouraged. So her bad mark didn't discourage her. On the contrary, she worked. Yeah, she worked. This is a simple past. She worked very hard on the second test. On the contrary, she worked very hard on the second test, which means she didn't get discouraged, but she even worked more. That's what we mean here. Then we have whereas. This one is a bit tricky when it comes to pronunciation or writing. So you just write where, like where, and as, whereas, okay? Some people are fond of football, whereas others hate it. So we have two similar but contrasting ideas. We want to show that they are similar. They have the same weight. Some people like football, some people don't like football. So we say some people are fond of football, whereas others hate it. So this is what we call contrast. And these are linking words of contrast. I wish that you have got it. If you still have questions, don't forget again to put them at the comment section. I will be very happy to help. And please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, like and share so that everybody will benefit from this lesson. Thank you for watching. See you in the next lesson. Bye.